Hello, this is the ENG project group number 5, and we are responsible for the dice rolling LCR dice game. My name is Shubei Van, and my respectable part is the basic logic and the operation of the core part of the local game.
So my name is Bangri Sun, and I wrote all the GUI parts and like images, sound effects, animations, and like notices.
My name is Rui-Han Li. So I'm responsible for the remote part of the game. So I implement all the functionality for ThinkSpeak.
So here's the local version of the LCR dice game. So now we press the start button. There's a sound effect, and each player's chips are set to 3, and the center pod is 0.
So player 1 has to start the game. Player 1 hits the dice button and gets the dice result C.R, which means give chips to the center and to the right.
And dot means do nothing, and right means give chips to the player next to the right of him.
Yeah,
right.
So as the notice shows, the player 2 gets to turn. Player 2 hits the button to roll the dice, and player 2 gets right dot, so give chips to the right.
Which is player 3.
And player 3 has to give chips to the center.
So now it's player 1's turn.
And player 1 only have 2 chips, so player 1 rolls 2 numbers of dice.
Player 1 do nothing effect and just jumps into player 2's turn.
So we just repeat this until the game over.
So the number of dice the player rolls equals the chips the player has. So this shows how 3 players play this game on the same keyboard.
The winning part means that at least 2 players have 0 chips at the same time, and the remaining player will automatically win the game.
Yeah, so the last player that still has chips will be the winner. Yeah, so we can see that now the only player that still has chips is player 2, and so the winner is player 2. So we hit on the remote button and a new window pops up. We can play the game on the separate computers at the same time. So the first computer is player 1, and we can choose the player and confirm. On the second
computer we can choose player 2 to confirm, and the third computer choose player 3 and confirm. So we can both click on the start to be prepared to start the game.
Yeah, so start the game.
Start game in computer 2, start in computer 3.
And so the page are set up. And so player 1 rolled the dice button, and we can see that all the results get synced to the 3 computers. They're showing the same thing, and player 2.
And player 2 can roll the dice again, and now player 2 notice shows the waiting part, and now it's player 3 turn shows in the notice, which can be roll the dice. You could view that as other players are rolling the dice, all the roll dice button for other players are off.
Yeah, so using the ThinkSpeak functionality, we can let the computers sync together at the same time.
So we just repeated the procedure until there's a winner.
So when the players are waiting for the game, the notice board says waiting, and their button gets disabled, and when it's their turn, their roll dice button gets enabled again, so they can hit the roll dice button to finish their turn.
As there's a winner, there will be a remaining notice on the notice part, which will end the game, and all the players will no longer able to press the button.
So by disabling the buttons in the player's computer, we can ensure that the 2 players cannot hit the roll dice button at the same time. So each player gets noticed in a notice board when it's their turn. And in the rest of the time, the notice board shows waiting. So they have to wait till it's their turn. And the dice results each player gets synced in every computer, so that the player knows what dice result their teammates get. And the scoring system also, so the winner is 3 here.
Because there's 3 winning chips for players week.
Yeah, so the game ends on the 3 computers in the same time.
So these are the properties we used. This one is the chips in the center. This is the chips for each player. This is the turn. And for the roll dice button, these are sound and audio and animations. So these are the core. So there's a dice result, and it will update the chips for each player according to the dice result. It is a random generator. And it will also update the images. So if the game is continuing, the turn will update and also update the notices. So if the game is over, the roll dice button will be disabled.
And here are the rest nested functions we used. First is update image, which will update the 7 images here, which represents the numbers of player chips and dice rolling result. The next one is dice combo one, which shows the dice combo the players released, and we use if else terms to deduce how much dice rolling a player can do to represent the result. And next one is game over one, which represents when is the game over. We use the if and else code to approach this. Next one is the update notice, which will appear in this part, will show each player's turn. And the final one is the update chips, is represented by the dice combo. We use the for and switch code to represent how the chips can be updated and reassigned for different cases the player rolling the dice.
So the start button, we just set all the images and chips to the original, to the origin. And here's the remote button, which will turn the game into a online mode.
Okay, so here's the ThinkSpeak functionality. So we have a brand new class for this functionality, which is similar to the original one, except for these 4 properties of the class, which is the key for the ThinkSpeak channel. And to start the game, we write some information into the ThinkSpeak channel, which is the initialization of all the data. So every player has 3 chips, and player 1 starts the game and 0 chips in the center, and the dice result is 0, 0, 0. And to start the game, player 1 is the one that starts the game, so the player 1's button gets enabled, and player 2 and 3 has to wait. So they go into the function named wait here. So you can see the wait functionality here is a while loop. So the while loop traps the player into a while loop. So the loop constantly checks if the player now equals to the player, and if it's not, they will continue into the loop. And if the player's turn, if it's the player's turn, they get enabled. Their button gets enabled, and they can roll the dice and gets the results. So when they roll the dice, when they finish their turn, they send the data to the ThinkSpeak channel, which we have a function here called send data, and they write into the ThinkSpeak channel the dice result and the number of chips and their turn into the channel, which is how we reach the ThinkSpeak and functionality and synced the data in all 3 computers to get the player gets to remotely play the game in the same time.